Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. So as I'm in what I call my car camping downtime, I thought what I'll do today is something a little different, and what I'm going to do is film my top 5 stealth camping, car camping must-have essentials list. It's a bit of a mouthful. So yeah, what I'm going to do, I'm going to load the car up and then we're going to head on down to Country Park again, just so it's a bit more interesting than filming on my driveway like I normally do when I'm not car camping. So yeah, let's get the car sorted and head out. Of course, I tell you what though, it's incredibly depressing getting your car all kitted out for stealth camping, but not actually going stealth camping. Yeah, very sad. Anyway, let's go. So yeah, I've been car camping now for a good few months, and in that time I've pretty much got my setup quite tuned in now, so everything is the way I like it and it works perfectly. Now, in terms of this top 5, what I'm showing you is what I use to stealth camp. Now, when I say stealth camp, I mean I can basically park up somewhere like here in a car park, jump in the back of my car and pretty much stay there till the morning without the need to get out, and equally the fact that no one would know I'm in my car. So that's what my definition of stealth camping is. So what you're going to see is my top 5 essentials in being able to do that. It's worth saying this could have easily been a top 10, but to be honest, I think that would have been too long a video, and I can probably still make another one later on at some point of all the other bits and bobs I haven't mentioned within this one. For those of you who are new to my channel, I have a 2013 Vauxhall Zafira. Now what I'm going to do now is a little hyperlapse around the car to show you what it looks like. And at the start, what I did was to show you what the internal of the car is like. So in case you missed it, the inside of the car has 3 rows of seats. The third row, hide under, will go down anyway, and the second row can lay flat like I've got it, as you've seen, or you can put it up like that. And that's pretty much it. That's what my setup is. And if after watching this you're interested in seeing my actual stealth camp videos, or even just my other setup videos, what I'll do at the end of this video is put both the playlists up at the end so you can click onto them and then see them. So in at number 5, and it's the most obvious things, is your bed. Because in the day when you're car camping you want to be comfortable, because sleeping in your car can be strange enough as it is, so at least if you're comfortable it's that much better. So my setup quite simply is a garden chair that folds down into a sun lounger. Now I could have just had that, but to make it even more comfortable I then bought a piece of foam to put on top. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to put links to everything I've got will be in the description once I've uploaded this, so you can see everything that I've bought and where I bought it from. Also, what I tend to have just to maintain comfort, I have a blanket and a sleeping bag. Now the sleeping bag I've got is a Van Gogh one, and it's designed I think from temperatures 8 degrees up to 20 degrees Celsius. To be honest, so far I've not needed anything other than that in all the car camping I've done, and I've done it once a month for the past 5 months, and yeah, this sleeping bag has been absolutely fine so far, so I recommend that. Now the other good thing with this bed is that it has storage underneath, and that's so important whenever you're car camping. You need to be able to put stuff somewhere. So what this bed has, as you'll see in this video, is I can fit 2 of these vegetable supermarket boxes underneath. Now within those boxes I can keep all my cookery stuff, my crockery, my electrics, everything goes under there basically. And there's also room, however, to put your gas stove at one end, and the other end you've got room for water and stuff like that. So yeah, that's my number 5. Number 4. Number 4 is the most important bit for being able to maintain stealth camping, and that is your window covers. Now what I've got, I have I suppose a system. Now on the outside of the car I have the wind deflectors or rain deflectors. Now what these do, these basically enable you to wind your window down a fraction when you're in the car, and when you're doing things like cooking it just means air can come through, but importantly rain can't get in. So that's what I have on the outside. Now on top of that I then have these. Now these are sunshades. By themselves they're rubbish for stealth camping, but what I use them for now is they hold my actual window cover. Now my actual window covers are a homemade job, and basically they are these. So what these are, this is basically cardboard covered in weed fabric. The weed fabric was a tip I saw in another YouTube video ages ago. But yeah, so all I did was I took a cardboard box, I cut out the sizes of all these windows and then covered them in weed fabric. So I've been using these same ones for 5 months, and even with all the condensation that builds up on them, they're still working fine. Now in terms of how much light they stop, they pretty much stop all of it, to be fair. There is a little bit of light that escapes, but it's hardly noticeable. So I have those on all the back windows. Originally I did make them for the front windows too, but the problem is then it's obvious someone's inside the car. So what I did instead was I put in this. So this is a extendable curtain pole basically. Now the way I've done it is I've obviously cut holes in the ceiling to get them in. I didn't want to do that initially, but because of the arch on the ceiling I couldn't get it to stick, so I've jammed those in, and then what I then used with that is this, which is a blackout curtain. Now the blackout curtain, I was going to originally get it all sewn up nice, it would be a proper curtain, but actually all I do now is, because the gap between the pole and the roof is so small, that just sits in there fine, and I just velcroed down the sides of the frame, and that all holds in perfectly. So yeah, so between the curtain on the center, the rain deflectors and sunshades and cardboard covers going round, that pretty much maintains my whole stealth. And actually what I'll do, I took a video on my first proper vlog car camp here, and that shows you what the car looks like at night time. As you can see, it's pretty cool. In at number 3 is lights, lights, lights. So the first time I car camped I used this, which is basically a tent light. Now my first car camp I didn't actually film, I just took photos, but you can see it here with me cooking by tent light. Now using this, it worked, to be fair, it was a light, but it felt like you was more in a tent in the back of your car because the light was so focused, but it was fine, it did the trick. Now what I did for my second stealth camp was I bought a tripod for my camera so I could film. Now what came free with the tripod was a selfie light, which actually when plugged in it has 3 different colors, 5 different brightness settings, and it's basically a fluorescent light bulb. Now that was really good, and I've got a video here of when I was using that, and that was a much better light. It really did illuminate well. But then what I did after that, because obviously I've seen it in other YouTubers videos, was the whole LED strip lighting. Now that is what I've gone for, and actually it is a lot better, and it's so cheap. The setup that I've got here was £5, and as you can see in this video, you can see it pretty much lights up the whole car, and it's really nice actually. I think lighting is quite important when you're stealth camping, because if you've got decent lighting like the strip lighting or the LED strip lighting, then it's almost like your own little hotel room. Everything is illuminated, you can see everything, and it's actually that much nicer. But the problems when you're using these kind of lights is it just feels like you're in a tent. So yeah, I recommend the LED strip lighting for certain. In at number 2, it's quite an important thing, is power. Now, the first time I stealth camped, I used this. Now this is quite cool. It's a 20,000 milliamp battery pack and has 2 USB ports. So that was perfectly fine for charging my phone, charging my watch, using my little desk fan, works fine. But what I wanted to be able to do was to charge more devices without the fear of my battery pack running out. So I upgraded to the Jackery 240. Now the Jackery 240 is the cheapest of the Jackery family, and for my purposes it's absolutely perfect. At the end of the day, I can charge all my electronic devices. I can charge my camera battery, my drone battery, I can power my tablet, charge my phones, my watch, my fan, my GoPro battery. I can charge everything on it, and because I only car camp for one night at a time, the battery's fine. I mean, to be honest, the capacity on the Jackery is so good. I think I've only ever used probably 20-30% on any one car camp. I then spent the next few weeks running it down and then recharging it for the next one. So yeah, I highly recommend the Jackery for all your power needs. And so yes, we have reached what my number 1 stealth camping must-have essential is, and my number 1 is the Porta Potty. Now, the Porta Potty is obviously the most important essential item for stealth camping, because at the end of the day it means you can sit in your car all day, all night, all morning and never get out, because you can literally do everything in the back of your car. Now the first time I stealth camped, I used a bowl and a bag, and it worked, but it wasn't very nice, which is why I then went straight into Porta Potty land. This is the 335. It's the smallest one they do, and you have enough room to sit on it comfortably in the back of a Zafira, and because of that you don't have to get out in the middle of the night. You don't have to try and pee in a bottle or a urinal. You don't have to, if it's chucking it down with rain, you'd have to go outside. So this just makes life a hell of a lot easier, and I highly recommend it. Clearly for me, this wouldn't be a car camp type video without coffee. From my mini thermos. And that's it. That's me done. So I hope you found this useful, and I hope it's given you some ideas about when you do your first stealth camp. My plan is to do another, I don't know, top 5 tips at some point, because there's loads of little pieces of information I've learned that I can pass on. So I'll do that at some point. In terms of stealth camping, my next planned stealth camp is next month. I don't know when next month, but I do know where. So I have planned that much already. But what I'll do in the meantime, I'll carry on putting out little YouTube shorts, which seem to be at the minute little scenes, I suppose, from other stealth camps that I've either never used or I forgot to use. So at least that keeps me happy, and I can still post something in YouTube land. But other than that, that's me done. I will see you all later. Take care.